Hello, this is John Hummel, Senior Technical Writer for Wallaroo. Today, we will be demonstrating how to set up your Kubernetes cloud environment for installing the Wallaroo Community version for the Microsoft Azure platform. These instructions are up to date as of early 2022, so if you're listening to this in the future, you now have a time capsule of my voice in your ears. Hello. A current version of these instructions are stored on the Wallaroo documentation site at docs.wallaroo.ai. Here, you'll find the prerequisites, the Azure CLI-related commands, so you can copy and paste it right into your terminal. These instructions assume that you have your Microsoft Azure account set up and ready to go, and have the following: your Wallaroo Community license file. You can get that from portal.wallaroo.community. Follow the instructions on the Wallaroo documentation site if you need additional assistance. Install the AZ command line program, and you've connected to your Microsoft Azure account. Install kubectl and COTS on your local system while you'll be performing the installation. These two are used to manage our Kubernetes nodes and install Wallaroo Community. Wallaroo Community requires each node have at least 8 cores with 16 gigabytes of RAM. The Kubernetes device driver must be containerd, which must be specified during the Azure process. The complete details are on the documentation site. The Wallaroo documentation site includes a handy bash script that you can use to quickly set up this environment. Update the variables as required. We're using those same variables before we start out with our various commands, setting up the Azure resource group, the group location, the container registry, the name that we'll use for our Wallaroo cluster, the SKU type, which in this case is just basic, the node pool name, the VM size, which is standard_D8S_v4, and the size of the cluster. In this case, we'll be using 4 nodes. Once complete, we'll start by creating our Azure group. Again, change these commands and variables as best fit your own organization. We'll then create the Azure Container Registry with the AZ-ACR create command. This next command is a little bit long, but can be broken down as so. This is the actual command that will create our cluster, AZ-AKS create. It's referring to the same resource group we just created, setting the name of our Wallaroo cluster, the node count, in this case 4, creating the SSH keys that it needs, the VM size, the node pool name, and setting the Kubernetes version as being 1.22, which is required for this current version of Wallaroo Community. This command may take anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes to run depending on your environment and setup. Once the cluster is ready, we can download the credentials for our Kubernetes service. The command for that is AZ-AKS get-credentials. We then give it the name of the resource group and our cluster name. To verify the cluster is running, we'll use the kubectl get nodes command. As we can see, the nodes are all running, so we can start installing our Wallaroo Community. With that done, now we can install Wallaroo Community into our Kubernetes environment. We start by creating a namespace where Wallaroo Community is installed to. Kubectl create namespace Wallaroo. Now we can install Wallaroo Community with the command kubectl COTS install Wallaroo /ce --namespace Wallaroo. During this process, the necessary containers are being downloaded into your Kubernetes environment, services started, and general awesome being applied. You'll be prompted for the default administrative password. Supply that, and the installation will be nearly complete. Once finished, you'll be able to access the Wallaroo administrative dashboard through the default address http://localhost:8800. Open your browser and access that URL. First thing to do is log in with the new password, then provide your Wallaroo Community license file. Next, you'll notice several configuration options that we'll skip here, though you should note the DNS address that has been supplied by Wallaroo. This is how you'll access the Wallaroo Community dashboard later. Scroll down and select Continue. Wallaroo Community will now perform a pre-flight check, making sure your Kubernetes environment is ready. And that's it. There may be some more background processes, but when your cluster is ready, you can access your Wallaroo Community dashboard and get to work. Time to access our new Wallaroo dashboard. You'll see the URL right there, domain prefix, and the DNS suffix. In my case, it makes the URL for my Wallaroo dashboard flashychair3389.wallaroo.community. These URLs are unique to your license. Once your Wallaroo Community instance is running for the first time, you'll receive an email providing you with your temporary password. Open the URL for your Wallaroo dashboard, use the same email address registered with the Wallaroo Community license, and use your temporary password. You'll be prompted to change your temporary password for a permanent one. With that, you're now using Wallaroo. For more instructions, make sure you check out our blog posts at wallaroo.ai/blog or use our tutorials and other guides at docs.wallaroo.ai. Thanks for being part of the Wallaroo community.